What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, back at it again with another banger, my friends. Y'all know the vibes by now. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Whew, a moment of silence for that national championship game. I mean, South Carolina was outclassed, outcoached, outplayed, and outperformed in every aspect of the game by Uconn, man. That big three, Paige Bueckers, goes out with a bang. Number one draft pick. The only thing eluding her in her historic college career national championship, she helps Gina Auriemma get number 12. AZ Fudd, who has battled her trials and tribulations with her health on the court, lights South Carolina up again for the second time this season. Sarah Strong, whose mom played with Don Staley for the Charlotte Sting, who was down to Uconn and South Carolina on where she would go to college, decided to go to Uconn, and it made all the difference, man. The big three was historic, scoring over 100 points in this NCAA tournament. The dribble handoffs, the penetration, the shot-making ability. And it wasn't even like it was bad defense from South Carolina. They were contesting almost every shot. But when you got Paige Bueckers and AZ Fudd, WNBA-level pro shot makers that just have you running. You know, South Carolina overcommitted at times and got blown by, and the mid-range was there all day. Then Uconn brought that small lineup and that pressure defense, swarming the bigs, completely taking the guards out of this game, man. Malaysia Fulwiley, Raven Johnson, exceptional game on the glass. Exceptional game. But her limitations offensively were exposed today. Bree Hall, limitations offensively, kind of a catch and shooter, exposed today. Tahina Powell not able to get to the cup, exposed today. Tessa Johnson, tournament Tessa, didn't show up all tournament. Like, the defense from these guards, Caitlin Chin, KK Arnold, Paige Bueckers, AZ Fudd picking Malaysia Fulwiley's pocket twice. Like, the team defense, the rotations, the ball pressure, the deflections, limiting South Carolina in transition. It was the perfect game plan. South Carolina had no action in the paint. They didn't get anything going from the perimeter, really. The guards were doing a whole lot of running around. You know, it just wasn't any type of fluid offense for South Carolina, man. And this was not a day that you don't want to show up. Uconn picks up the dub 82-59, shooting an impressive 48.4% from the field while holding South Carolina 34.4%. South Carolina actually shot better from three. Like, Uconn was horrific. It would have been a 40-point game if they would have been hitting their threes, but they stayed aggressive, attacked the paint, got to the free throw line. They also dominate the glass with 42 rebounds compared to South Carolina's 38, 18 assists compared to South Carolina's 9, 5 blocks, 8 steals. South Carolina has 11 turnovers. Uconn only 7 turnovers. And South Carolina started the game 6 of 7, man, and then missed 13 of their next 16, and it was just all downhill from there. AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong both had a 24 piece. Paige Bueckers had 17. KK Arnold was good off the bench, 9 points, 3 assists. Sarah Strong, 5 assists. Chin, 4 assists. El Alfie got into foul trouble, and I thought that would be a situation where South Carolina would really get active in the paint, man. But they put in Ice Brady. They bring in pressure, going small with Sarah Strong at the 5. AZ Fudd, Paige Bueckers locking up defensively. Chin, Ashlyn Shade giving you some valuable minutes. Aubrey Griffin getting some minutes late in there. Like, it was just a mismatch. It felt like everywhere on the court. Like, anytime AZ Fudd or Paige Bueckers was getting that handoff or getting in motion, they had the defense on their heels the entire game. Nobody had an answer for anybody on this team. Tahina Powell, 3 points, 3 rebounds. And it's like, for the seniors, the people that aren't going to probably be there next season, this is definitely a hard pill to swallow, man. Because this is not the game that you don't show up in. The national title game, you've been here before. Tahina Powell foul, 3 points. Chloe Kitts was locked in hell most of the game. 9 points, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. Raven Johnson played hard, and I got to commend her effort on defense as well as on the glass. But her offensive limitations, something that we've talked about all year. You don't have a point. She's not a point guard that can get you a bucket. They needed more shot creators, and that's why I think Taniyah Latson is going to be a must-get for South Carolina. Breezy Hall, 2 points. Sanaya Fagan, 8 points, 3 rebounds. Not a huge factor in this contest, man. I thought that she would really go to work with El Alfie out, and it just didn't happen. A lot of missed layups, a lot of tough, bad contested shots, in my opinion. Joyce Edwards and Tessa Johnson lead the way with 10 points, which is a good sign for the future. Malaysia Full-Wiley, 9 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Quiet game for her as well. Maddie McDaniel got some action. Dowder got some action. But these upperclassmen, man, it just wasn't a whole lot of production from Tina Powell, from Breezy Hall, 2 players that you need to make shots. They just were not falling today. Adjustments, I mean, they tried to a lot of different things. They tried to match the small ball lineup. It didn't work. They tried to go big. It didn't work. They tried to play slow half court. It didn't work. Like, it just was UConn's day today. And I got to salute UConn, man. A few months ago, we were saying that this team was probably a Sweet 16 team at best and that Gino Auriemma needed to retire. And it was a mistake that Paige Bueckers even came back to school. Fast forward a few months, and they are national champions, man, with a lot of talent coming back next season with AZ Foot and Sarah Strong leading the way. You know, and Paige Bueckers, for her trials, her tribulations, all the criticism that she takes, all the hate that she gets from the Caitlin Clark fans, and this is no shade to Caitlin Clark, but she did something that Clark didn't. Now, if Clark would have came back for another year, who knows? But I'm just saying, she did something Clark didn't, and she won a national championship against South Carolina and that juggernaut that Dawn Staley has built down there in Columbia. We could very well see a rematch in the national title game with these two teams next season, man. But it just, the adjustments wasn't made. South Carolina looked frustrated. Dawn Staley was yelling at the refs, pissed, just looked defeated the whole game. There was this one shot of Chloe Kitts where she just looked like, wow. Like, getting damn near 30 ball by the same team in the same season is nasty work. UConn being able to put in the GPA boosters in the game of a national title game that they really probably could have played them half the fourth quarter and they wouldn't come back. Like, this was just masterclass. A hell of a coaching effort for Gino Auriemma and this staff. The ball movement, the UConn offense was fluid. They had cutters. The dribble handoffs, South Carolina had no answer for. They just carved that defense up, got so much space to operate, and they found their shots, and they made their shots today, man. Coming off a 30-plus point win over UCLA, like, UConn proved, hey, you don't have to play in a stacked conference. You don't have to play a crazy schedule. Was South Carolina worn down, man, just from this gauntlet of a schedule that they played? They were the most battle-tested, but did it end up hurting them in the end? Not having a go-to scorer, did it end up hurting them in the end? Not having a player that can guarantee you a bucket on any given night, like a Paige Bueckers, like a Sarah Strong, like a AZ Foot, who played majority of this game. Like, the depth of South Carolina did not bother UConn whatsoever. So we know, you know, you really definitely can win a championship with 7 or 8, man. And really, the Big Three era of women's college hoops, we saw it with LSU with Anissa Flage, as well as Michaela Williams, like, out at State, Sanaya Rivers, Zoe Brooks, Isaiah James. Like, teams are having big threes and having a lot of success with those lineups, man. But hey, it's a storybook ending from Paige Bueckers. She deserves her flowers. She did something that many players don't get a chance to do. And UConn with 12 national titles, man. They are back. First championship since 2016. UConn is absolutely back. And this might fuel Gino to coach 5 more years, man. I don't see him leaving until Sarah Strong leaves, potentially. That might be the earliest. But, man, what a dominant win. I think it was a successful season for South Carolina as far as them getting back to the national championship game is hard to repeat, but they had a great year. They won a lot of big games. They grew a lot on and off the court. This is still a special group, and as long as Don Staley is the head coach, they will definitely be in the running for national championships for years to come, but it wasn't their day-to-day. It was Uconn's. Y'all let me know y'all's biggest takeaways in the comments. That is a wrap for us, for all the latest and the greatest. I also want to say, man, I wonder, moving forward, do we see South Carolina play the type of schedule? Like, yeah, they're still going to play big games, of course. We know they got USC already. But will they tone down scheduling so many top 5 teams, so many top 10 teams in the country, and kind of preserve? Because we see UConn beat up on the Big East for 2 to 3 months, play a couple of big games, and then come and run through the tournament, dubbing the nation's best, man. So, playing in a weaker conference, not getting that number 1 seed wasn't really an issue for them. So do we see South Carolina kind of adjust their scheduling approach, especially since they didn't get the number 1 overall seed? Like, do we see something change with that? And I think that'll be something to keep an eye out on as well. But y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. That is a wrap for us. For all the latest and the greatest, I am Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. This is the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Until next time, my people, we out.